Now I did. So, so in Sakam Karma, the yogi is attached to two things. What is that? Duty and fruits, both. Fruits is mainly the motivation to perform the duty. And what he does, he gives some results, some fruits of his duty to Krishna. Now in Nishkam Karma, what is happening? A yogi understands that I am not the only doer. There is a tripod which is working to get me the fruits. What is a tripod? So we understand the tripod is soul and then super soul and then super soul, and then we understood material energy or material nature, and then material nature supplies. So how this tripod is working, the soul has lot of desires to attain lot of fruits, and then soul requests super soul to fulfill my desire. Then super soul orders material nature that I am giving you all the resources, fulfill the soul's desire. So I give an example. For example, a child is crying for a balloon. He wants to play, so he's crying for a balloon. Then he asks his father. He says, I need this balloon. Then father gives some money to his mother, saying that you take this money and buy some balloon for my child. Right? Now, if a child thinks that it is my endeavor to get this balloon, that is not right, because that is not the only factor for him to get that balloon. Right? It's father and mother both. It's mainly the father who is giving all the resources to mother, and the mother is giving that money to the shopkeeper, and then that from that shopkeeper the child is taking that balloon. So this tripod is working to get the result. So Nishkam Karma Yogi will understand that this is a tripod for me to get a fruit. I am not the only doer. So he says, okay, because I am not the only doer, I will perform my duty. That's all. So a Nishkam Karma Yogi is attached to a duty, that okay, as a warrior I have to fight, as an employee in my company, as a software engineer I have to do this, as a team lead I have to do this, as a manager I have to do this. He will, okay, I'll do my duty. Whatever result I will get, that will be that will not be only my endeavor, because there are super soul and material nature are included in that. So Nishkam Karam Yogi focuses on his duty. So that's how all the hankering, slowly he gets peace. Why? Because a lot of hankering that we have in world today is because of we are attached to fruits. Once you are not attached to the fruits or the results of your actions, then that hankering is slowly, gradually it goes to zero, and then person keeps performing his duty. Then when it comes to Gyan Yoga, Krishna says that a Gyan Yogi renounces actions also. The duty also he renounces, and he will start meditating, he will start sacrificing and everything. So in Gyan Yoga, Krishna says that if you just perform your duty and you don't know, you don't have any knowledge, then what is the point? You should sacrifice also. So in that perspective, chapter 2 has a lot of things, and then chapter 3 Krishna talks about only about karma yoga, and in chapter 4 Krishna talks about Gyan Yoga, which means do the sacrifice. And in chapter 5 Arjun get confused. He says, 1 minute, you are asking me to perform my duty, then you are asking me to renounce and do the sacrifice. What do I do? What is best? Because you are asking me both the things. Then in chapter 5 understood that Krishna says, well, if you simply renounce, you have a lot of desires, but still you are not doing action for that, there is a chance that you will fall down from that position. Like we understood from the example of Vishwamitra. He was doing meditation, Apsara came in, and because of his hidden desires to enjoy, he got seduced and had an association with that Apsara. So Krishna is saying that, no, simply doing Jnana Yoga is very risky. And just performing duty without any sacrifice, that is also not good. So what do? You do your duty plus sacrifice, which means you do your duty as a sacrifice to me. Which means if you are a warrior, you fight, but all your arrows will be like a ghee, and the chest of your enemy on the opposite party will be like Havan Kund. So you will also perform sacrifice. You do your duty for me, which means you offer the results to me. Thinking of me, you perform your duty. That will become the sacrifice, and that is not risky also, because out of your nature you are doing your duty, no problem. And then because you are doing it for me, that will become the sacrifice. So that's what we have understood so far in first 5 chapters. So today we will discuss about chapter 6, Dhyan Yoga. Dhyan Yoga is also called Ashtang Yoga actually. So let's see what are the topics in this chapter we will discuss. Oh, sorry, we missed the quiz, right? So we'll take the quiz after this. So the topics that we are going to cover today is mind. So all the yogas, whichever yoga you perform, right? Sakam Karam, Nishkam Karam, Gyan, Ashtang, or Bhakti, everywhere there is a lot of focus on mind. So Krishna will take at least 9 shlokas to first set the ground about mind, and we'll talk about mind, how it is so important. Then we will see is Ashtang Yoga. So we will see what are the prerequisites for performing Ashtang Yoga, how do we perform Ashtang Yoga, and then we'll see the difficulties in performing Ashtang Yoga also. And because any yoga you perform, you might get failed, right? For example, we are preparing for some competitive exams. I want to become a doctor, I want to become an engineer, I want to become an IAS officer, or whatever. If we get failed, it's failure only, right? There is no chance for you to become an IAS officer again until you again prepare yourself and again appear for the exam. If you fail again prepare yourself, again appear for the exam. So Arjuna is trying to understand in the same way, if there is a yogi who gets unsuccessful for some reason, then what happens to him is we will discuss in the third topic. And then out of so many yogas that we have discussed so far, what is the topmost yoga? And as per Krishna's opinion, who is the topmost yogi? We'll discuss about it. So this we will discuss. Before we do that, let's quickly take 5 minutes quiz. And let's see who answers these questions. Okay, so last class we discussed about Vishad Yoga. We touched upon it actually. There is a chapter 1 which is known as Vishad Yoga. Can someone tell me what is Vishad Yoga? Anyone has any idea about it? It's a little difficult question, I know, but I'm just trying to see if someone can answer it. What is Vishad Yoga? Someone wanna try?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Devesh Prabhu.
When we try to, मतलब when we have an association, when we have illusion, कि जैसे अर्जुन को उस टाइम पे हुआ था कि मैं ऐसे योगियों से राजपाट पाने से तो मरना भी अच्छा है, मैं उन लोगों के पाके लिए भी क्या करूंगा जिनको मैं मार ही दूंगा। तो ऐसे ही हम अपने जब अपनी कोई भी ड्यूटी होती है और जब हमें एक्चुअली एक्शन करने का टाइम उस पे आता है, हम वो लेमेंटेशन हम अपना वो खोज हमारा भगवान से ध्यान हट जाता है कि हमारी ड्यूटी है और हम मटेरियल चीजों में अटक के रह जाते हैं।
So you are trying to say that when we are illusioned and in that illusion state, when we are crying and we connect to Krishna, that is Vishad Yoga. Yoga means connection and Vishad means crying for material things.
Crying,
yes, that is right. So thank you, Deveshwar, you're right. So connecting with Lord in the state of misery is called Vishad Yoga. So that's what Arjuna is also doing, right? Perfect, thank you. Now, the second question is, why Krishna accepted Arjuna to give this knowledge? So in one way, why Arjuna was the only soul chosen by Krishna? Because in the battlefield there were so many warriors. Why Arjuna was only chosen by Krishna to accept this knowledge? What was the qualification of Arjuna?
Can I add, Prabhuji?
Let's give someone else chance.
Can I do, Prabhuji?
I think some Mataji was also trying to speak.
Yeah, this is Anjali.
Yes, go ahead.
Because he accepted Krishna as his spiritual master.
Absolutely. Thank you, Anjali. So we see here that because Arjuna says that Shishastem Sadi Mam Tvam Pirpannam, right? So that is why Krishna says, okay, you are accepting me as your spiritual master now, because earlier I was your friend. I did not speak such high knowledge to you because we were playing together, roaming around together. Now, because you made me the spiritual master, I am giving you this knowledge. Okay, the last question. What is the meaning of these two words, Madhusudan and Keshav? Madhusudan is also a very famous word which is used for Krishna. Arjuna has used this word many times.
Madhusudana means
yes, Anand Bro.
Because he killed the demon Nadu.
Very good, very good. Yes, yes. And Keshav?
Keshav means
Madhusudan, you are right. Because he killed the demon named Madhu. And Keshav means because he killed another demon named Keshi.
Keshi, okay.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So thank you all for participating. And then let's come to our agenda today. So this is chapter 6 overview. The first 9 text, the shlokas, will talk about mind. In fact, Krishna will not directly talk about mind. He will set some ground in the initial 2-3 texts. He will set some ground to explain about mind, and then he will explain how important it is to control the mind. Then we will see next 26 texts. They will talk about Ashtanga Yoga, how we should perform, and what are the prerequisites and everything. And then we'll see what is the destination, the next 8 shlokas. And then the last 2 shlokas of this chapter will talk about topmost yogi. Who is a topmost yogi? So let's get started. This is the first text of this chapter. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Anashrita Karam Phalam Karyam Karma Karoti Ya Sa Sannyasi Cha Yogi Cha Niragnirna Chakriya. So Krishna is saying Anashrita. Anashrita means not taking ashrit. Ashrit means shelter. Not taking the shelter. Yes. Not taking the shelter of what? Karam phalam.
Right.
And then karyam karma karotiya, which means who is doing his karma without taking shelter of karam phalam, which means he is not taking shelter of the fruits of his actions. Then what about him? Sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnin chakriya. So he's saying sa sannyasi. He is a sannyasi. So he might be wearing pant, shirt, tie, belt, everything, but he is not attached to the fruits of his actions. He is not taking shelter that, okay, because I want to achieve promotion, I want to achieve this and that, I am doing my duty. No, he is not attached to the fruits of his actions. So he is as equivalent as a person who is wearing a saffron cloth and living in Vrindavan. He is a sannyasi. A person who is wearing a saffron cloth, having a long tilak on his forehead, you will consider him as a sannyasi. He said, no. If a person who is doing his duty nicely, no, without attaching to the fruits of his actions, he is as equivalent as sannyasi. And then he says, na niragnin chakriya. Niragnin means who does not ignite fire and who has renounced from duty. So a sannyasi, generally a sannyasi, I would say the fake renouncer, who has renounced the activities, even though he has a lot of material desires within his heart, but he has taken up the saffron clothes, and he is living in a secluded place. So Krishna is not recommending to do it. He's saying, no, you do your duty without attaching to the results. So there is a translation for this. He said the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life, and he is a true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no duty. Which means someone who goes to Himalaya, for example, oh, I am renouncing everything, this material world is bad, everyone is here to give me pain, so I will not talk to anyone. In fact, I will just go in search of absolute truth on Himalayas. So Krishna is not recommending that. Let's understand it more. So you see on my screen, we have all understood the Pythagoras theorem. A square is equal plus b square is equal to c square. This is the Pythagoras theorem. Now this is the principle. In mathematics, we used to prove it also, right? Now, if we understand the principle, you give me any problem, you said this is 4, this is 3, this is 4, what is this value? I will calculate it. Similarly, you give this, what is this, what is this is 5, this is 3, what is this value? I will calculate it. Why? Because I understood this principle, right? Which means understanding the principle is very important, and following it is also much more important. For example, in the same problem, let's say I have 3 and 4, and then for some reason I know this is 5. Let's say now tomorrow, if I get some other value, let's say it is 3.5, 4.5, I will get confused. I will say, oh no, it might be 4.5.5, it might be 6.5, I don't know. Why it is happening? Because I don't know the principle behind it, right? Similarly, what Krishna is explaining here is the principle. What is that? We understand our duty, we work on it nicely to best of our capability, without worrying about what? Results. And that's how we would be able to solve any problem of that area. When I say area, it means what? Suppose as a husband, I understand that my duty is to take care of my family. Now, I should not be expecting that my wife should be able to do it, should do it, or my children should be doing it, right? Because if I do that, I will go crazy. Similarly, as an employee in my office, I know, okay, I'm a software engineer, I should be doing this. As a team lead, I should be doing this. As a manager, I should be doing this. As a politician, I should be doing this. So what Nishkam Karma Yoga is actually tells us not to expect. It gives it actually detaches us from the people outside our jurisdiction. For example, if I get a promotion or not in the office, that is not in my hand. I can just perform my duty. My manager will decide. But if I go crazy to get something out of the duty, then definitely there are miseries attached to it. But what is the problem in applying this? The problem is material desires. We have so many material desires that it becomes very difficult for us to just stick to our duty and not worry about results. Yes, Devesh, I'll take your question. Give me one minute. So we become so attached to the results that it becomes very difficult for us to even focus on our duty. Why it is happening? Because of material desires. Now, and Krishna knows this. That is why in the next shloka we'll see that Krishna is talking about material desires. Yes, Deveshpuru, what is the question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Again, like you say, we need to get detach ourselves from the fruits.
Yeah.
So earlier you told that to have association, keep book reading, do chanting, and do night following.
Correct.
But still, it takes a lot of time and a lot of efforts to get all these things out of our mind. And many of the times we fail in doing so.
Right.
So we know the principle, as you told Pythagoras theorem, we know the principle that it is required.
Yes.
We know the tripod function which you told us earlier also.
Yeah.
But how to get our mind trained about it?
Yes, so we'll discuss about that also. Let me make a note here to take up your in the later slides. This question will come approved, which means how to train the mind. Right, that is your question, Deveshpuru. How to train the mind to stay on track, right? Okay, we'll take that up.
Yes,
we'll take that up. It will come in the later slides. Thank you, Deveshpuru. So the four texts. Now we understood in the previous text that there is a problem in following the principle. Even though we know theoretically, it becomes very difficult for us to follow it. Why? Because we have a lot of material desires. And that's where Krishna says in fourth shloka here, Yada hinendriyartheshu na karmasvanusajjate sarva sankalpa sannyasi yoga rudhastadochyate. So here you say, you see Krishna is saying there are two na here. One is this na and then is this na. So there is one no. One no is about indriyartheshu. And other na is karmasvanusajjate. Karmasvanusajjate means don't get attached to the fruits. And other sujjate means don't work for sense gratification. Indriyartheshu, artheshu, arth means for And or sense gratification. Arth means gratification and Indriya means senses. So Krishna is saying here that do not work for sense gratification. So what would happen if someone works? Then he will not be elevated in yoga. If someone says, no, I don't want to perform yoga, I want to stay, instead of yogi, I want to stay as bhogi, then definitely this Bhagavad Gita not for him. But this science is for all those people who want to elevate their own position from whatever position we are in. So the translation Krishna says a person is said to be elevated in yoga when having renounced all material desires, he neither acts for sense gratification nor engages in fruitive activities. Now, what is it? What is the meaning of elevation in yoga? Let's understand it. You see on my screen, this is the earth we are living in, and we have so many hellish planets down below, so many heavenly planets above this earth, and then we have this spiritual world. We have this spiritual world here. Now, the person who is living on this earth, he can go to hell also, no problem. Based on his actions, he can go to hell also, and based on his action, he can go to heavenly planet also. Now, in both the cases, the problem is this is all material world. Material world has heaven, material world has hell, right? And then material world has this earth also. So the problem is that he will stay in material world if he will not elevate himself to from this earth to highly planets to up to spiritual world. So that is the problem in material desires if we keep it. Let's understand it in more detail. Now, you see in this picture, the person is suffering from body. Here is a person who is suffering from other beings. Now, here you see, this is the problem having material desires with things. So here is body, here is people, and here are things. So we have material desires related with body. We have material desires related with people. Desires with body means, for example, I want to eat sweets. I want to enjoy sweets. So I will enjoy it through my tongue. But what if I enjoy a lot of sweets? Then I will go sick. Similarly, I have a lot of desires from people that they should serve me like this. At least they should do this for me. Again, there is a attachment, there is a material desires. Similarly, we have attachment with things like house, car, this and that. So many material desires we have with body, people, or things. And that's what scriptures are detailing. There are three kinds of sufferings also in this world. What is that? Adhyatmic kalesha. Adhyatmic kalesh means miseries due to one's own body and mind. Mind means all these material mental diseases, anxiety, depression, all those things. And then body, the gross body. So we all have experience of being sick, right? So like that, in the old age, the body gives more pain, in fact. Similarly, we have Adi Bhautik Kalesh. Adi Bhautik means miseries due to other living beings. We all have experience of this also. That I have not done anything, but other person keeps troubling you for some reason or other. And then we see Adhyatmic, Adidevik Kalesh. Adidevik Kalesh means miseries due to supernatural powers, earthquake, droughts, etc. Also, or let's say car, you're driving car on the road and there is no fault of yours, but suddenly some truck will hit and then car is damaged. Day before my friend, yesterday I came to know one of my friend was coming from airport to his house late night and there is a hit and run case. Now his car is going to get total. So anyway, so there are a lot of kalesha in this world if we have what? If we have material desires. Material desires means material desires will be centered around these three subjects. And when we have the material desires with three subjects, we all have experience also. These three categories, miseries, we will definitely get. But then what is the source of these material desires also? That is also another point we have to understand. Because if we understand the source, probably we can work on it. So let's see what Krishna says. Uddharetatmanatmanam natmanamas sadayet atmev hatatmano bandhuratmaev ripuratmana. Krishna is using two words here. These are very interesting. One is bandhu and another word is ripu. Bandhu means friend and ripu means enemy. So friend and enemy of who? Of Atmev. Atmev Atmana means Atma. Means this is, one minute, I'm trying to write it in English. So Krishna is saying that this mana is the friend and enemy of the soul, which means Uddheratmana Atma. So Atmana means a soul. A soul should use the mana, means mind, Uddhet, for his own elevation. So we understood in the previous diagram, if you see in this diagram, so you see we are living on this earth. We can go to heavenly planets and eventually and then to spiritual world, or we can come down to hellish planets also. How we can do that? Through mind. That's what Krishna is explaining here. So Krishna is saying that a soul should use his mind to elevate himself, not to degrade himself down to lower planets, right? So because a mind can work for the soul as a friend and as an enemy. How it can work as a friend? Can someone tell me? Let's see who is attentively listening.
If we have a control on it, it will help us to go on the upper planets. If we do not have control on it, then we can go to the downside, hellish planets.
Okay, that's one answer. Yes, Nehemataji? You want to share?
The mind can be a friend if you turn it towards Krishna consciousness, like you direct the mind towards Krishna, then he is going to guide you where you have to be.
Correct. That's a more precise answer. Pretty in line of what Devesh Prabhu is saying. But yes, that's more precise in the sense, use your mind towards Krishna consciousness, so it can actually give you the right directions. Thank you. And how it can become the enemy for the soul? Yes, Anand Prabhu, you want to share?
I think if you go opposite direction of Krishna consciousness.
But how mind becomes an enemy in that sense? You're right that if we go into opposite direction, it is like enemy. But then how mind is contributing one to do that?
Because intelligence is playing the game.
How?
So if we use our intelligence and surrender ourselves to Krishna consciousness, the word consciousness itself will probably drive us towards becoming a friend rather than enemy.
That's one thought, right?
So
yes.
Actually, I mean, everything is in your mind.
Right.
So,
that's a root cause of all problems.
so,
Yes, Poonam Mataji, you want to share something? Okay. No problem. So, you see, let's discuss it in more detail. First, understand the translation. So, Krishna is saying, one must deliver himself with the help of his mind, not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. So, let's see how mind becomes enemy and friend. See, mind is a desire factory. I always call mind as a desire factory. So mind has a lot of desires, and every time it keeps working like day in, day out. So it will keep generating a lot of desires. Now it is in our hand to take action on it or not. For example, if I want to feed poor people, there are poor people living on road, they are hungry, I want to feed them. Now I can, if I take action on it or not, that is my call. So I can take an action in the sense I can go to Walmart, take some vegetable, I buy some vegetables, and then I can prepare nice food for them, and I will go to them, I'll feed them. That becomes an action on this. This is a material action. I will explain you how. Now with this material action, I will get some result. I will either go to heaven or I will go to hell. But the problem is I will stay in the material world. Let's say there is another desire. The desire is to kill someone. I know it is a very gross desire. I'm just taking an example. Let's say the desire is to kill someone. Now it is in my hand to take a knife and just slay the throat of that person. So from the first action, there is a pious karma, pious reaction that I'm getting. From the second one, what I'm getting is pap karma. What do you call pap karma in English? I forgot. Sorry. So anyway, there is a karma attached. So from the pious thing, I will go to heaven. From the pap one, I will go to hell. Right? Whatever material action I am taking.
Sinful action.
Oh yeah, sinful. You're right. Sinful action. So from the sinful action, what is happening? I will be destined to hell, and from the pious action, I will go to heaven. Now, in whatever case, I will stay in the material world, right? We understood that diagram that there is a earth, and then in the material world, we have earth. There are all heavenly planets. This is heaven, and down below we have hell, right? So I will either go to heaven, I will either go to hell, but I will stay in the material world. And we know the problem in the material world, the three kleshas. We understood the three miseries, right? Adi bhautik kalesh, adi devi kalesh, adhyatmik kalesh. Then I'm not gaining anything. So in one sense, what mind, which is a desire factory, and from the desires I'm taking the actions, and based on those actions, I'm staying in the material world. If I take material actions for sure, then mind is nothing but an enemy for me, because it is not helping me much. See, going to heaven is like someone is going to a slaughterhouse, and you tell him the address. Okay, he asks you where is that slaughterhouse? Oh, it is this road, because he's anyway staying in the material world. There is no point, right? Or for example, someone is going to market to shop something. So hell is like, you can say slaughterhouse. Then you can say market. Someone going to market, he asks you address. Okay, this way if you go, you go to the market. Simply, but he is staying here only. Is not achieving anything. Ultimately, mind has become his enemy. Is like directing, you do this, or either it will send someone to heaven or to hell. It's not, nothing much. Is not doing anything. But again, if you say mind has a material desires, but instead of taking material action, if mind, if we take spiritual action on it, for example, someone gets the desire to feed poor people. He goes to Walmart, buy some vegetable, prepare nice food, cook some nice food, and then offer it to Krishna first, and then feed it to poor people. Then it becomes a spiritual action, which means I am not only doing bhakti myself, but I am also giving bhakti to other people, which means they will also get elevated to spiritual world, the spiritual kingdom, back home, back to Godhead. This is called spiritual action. So I will go back home, back to Godhead, out of this material world, and then mind is becoming my friend now. Does that make sense? Is this point clear? We'll discuss more about the mind though, but I hope so far, if there's any question, please let me know. You can raise your hand also, so I'll know. Okay. Now, let us understand the nature of this mind. I have a video to show all of you, so I'm stopping sharing. I'll share again with this voice thing. 1 minute. This is an interesting video to show how mind works. I'm sorry. Yeah, let me. I hope all of you can see my screen. So I've shared sound also. So any of you, I'm going to play the video. If you don't hear the sound, please let me know.
It's quite normal when we start to meditate for the mind to jump around all over the place. We might find.
So this monkey is actually the mind. What they're trying to show here is the nature of the mind. So this monkey is mind. So with that perspective, you can, okay, let me start it again. So the person, so this monkey that is sitting on the chair is the mind. So it represents the mind. How mind works is what has been shown in this video. I'm starting it again, okay?
It's quite normal when we start to meditate for the mind to jump around all over the place. We might find it tends to chase after all the little things, to be constantly moving about, from the present to the past to the future, in fact, to rarely be still at all. Fortunately, the mind can be tamed, not by forcing it to stop or trying to make it sit still. We don't want to trap it. That would just stir it up and create even more movement. But by training the mind, having an awareness of when our attention has wandered off, and gently bringing it back with a kind and friendly hand. In this way, the mind slowly becomes a little less restless. It also becomes more comfortable with this idea of sitting still. In fact, it might even come to enjoy it. This analogy for the mind has been around for thousands of years. Thankfully, so has the knowledge that, with time and practice, we can learn to train this monkey.
Yeah. So all of you saw this nature of this mind, right? Let me share my PPT again. So you see this this video shows a monkey, and through this good animated video there, what they're trying to show is how mind works. Mind thinks of the past, regrets about it, it worries about future, keeps thinking about what to do, what not, and it laments in the present, what I'm doing in my life. This is the nature of the mind. It keeps it wants to just keep us in trouble. So let's see it again. Yeah. So how mind works actually. So you see on my screen, there's a mind, there's an intelligence, and there's a gross body. So mind, as we understood, is a desire factory. And then it pops intelligence to perform action on it. Now, if we are intelligent enough to take actions, then we can decide what is right, what is wrong. Unfortunately, the propaganda of using the mind is so much advertised that, I mean, just do your way, live life king size. These are all propagandas through which the general people is given this understanding that don't use the intelligence, use your mind. Because if you use your mind, you will be able to properly use your intelligence. But believe me or not, but that's not the case. Mind is a monkey. It keeps roaming around here and there. And if intelligence will keep making plans to satisfy the mind, do you think this monkey will ever sit silent? Never, right? There's the nature of the monkey is to keep jumping. Mind will keep jumping. Now, how intelligence actually fulfills the desires of mind? Um, mind has the tendency to. I give an example. For example, there is a road rage case here, right? So we especially see this in India. If I hit someone's car, the other person, other driver from the car will come out of his car and start shouting, because his mind is agitated that you have hit my car, my car, that you have hit my car. So I want to show you my strength. Who am I? So he is using his intelligence to show his strength. Why? Because his mind is provoking him to do something. His mind is not calm. If he will use his intelligence, he will think that, oh, my car is already damaged. Why what is the point of shouting now? Let's see what best interest can be of both of us. He made some mistake, no problem, but he doesn't do that. Similarly, in our life also, if you see, mind will provoke us to do so many wrong things, and then intelligence will start making plans how to satisfy the mind if mind is provoking us. So this in this example, this driver is using his intelligence to satisfy the provocation from mind, and then he's using his gross body. Gross body means he's using his legs to come out of the car. He's using his tongue to shout on the other person. So like that, intelligence use the gross body. This is how mind actually engages the gross body and keeps it deteriorating. For example, someone is a drinker. His mind will always ask him to drink more. Then he will use his intelligence to satisfy the mind. How? Like where to buy this drink. And then he uses the gross body to pick up the bottle and then drink it, become a drunkard and damage his liver also. So that's how mind works. Then what to do? We should use the mind in chanting. So this comes to your question, Devesh Prabhu. You're asking like how to satisfy the mind. So we have to do chanting. We use our intelligence in attending spiritual classes and reading the spiritual literatures. So Srila Prabhupada has not only written Bhagavad Gita, but he has also written a lot of small books based on Bhagavad Gita. Because someone is directly, all of you are intelligent because you are able to consume this message. Otherwise, so many people are not able to directly understand the message of Bhagavad Gita. So we can read those small books also, which are based on Bhagavad Gita, and those have been written in a very, very plain English. I mean, very easily understandable language. And then the gross body, we should be using our gross body in some practical service of the Lord, but under the instruction of devotees, scriptures, and spiritual master. Now, someone can ask that you are asking the mind to calm down through chanting. It is not that easy actually. So that is a question for that question is not of yours only. Arjuna is representing us. He's always in doubt. Like all of us, we are always in doubt. We keep asking question, how to do this, what to do this. So Arjuna is representing all of us. He will also ask this question. So we'll take that. Now, yeah, how to spiritualize our material desires? So we have a lot of material desires of eating, sleeping, mating, defending. For example, eating, we can offer food to Krishna. We can sleep to wake up early in the morning to chant Hare Krishna, take association, Mangalarti, association of devotees, Mangalarti, attend Mangalarti in temple. And defending means we defend our spiritual life, our spiritual growth. From whom? From those who are envious of Krishna. Those are envious of spiritual life, or those are envious of our practice. For example, you are chanting and someone always keeps telling us, oh, you should not be chanting. What is the use of chanting? Someone is spoiling your mind. So we have to defend our spiritual interest, our spiritual inclination, our inclination towards Krishna. That is defending. That is spiritualizing the desires. Otherwise, this is the shloka from Mahabharata. Ahar nidra bhaimetunam cha samanyameta pashubhi niranam dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesha dharmena hina pashubhi samana. Pashubhi samana means the person is equal to pashu, is equal to an animal if he is doing only this. What is that? Ahar nidra bhaimetunam cha means if he is only engaging in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, that animals are also doing. What is the difference between the two? But if someone is serious that no, this life is not meant for just eating, sleeping, mating, defending, but higher than this, then he will come on the stage of yoga, especially on bhakti yoga. Then he will take association, book reading, chanting, and diet. Now, definitely, mind is not very easy to control, right? So that's what Krishna will tell. But if someone is able to control it, then let's see what happens to him. So what Krishna is saying here is Jnana Vijnana Triptatma Kutastho Vijitendriya Yuktituchadete Yogi Samloshtascha Makanchana. Krishna is saying Jnana Vijnana Kutastho. Kutastho means who is sthit in Kut. Sthit means who is situated in Kut. See, Kut means in older times, in ancient times, what they used to do, they used to take a small piece of iron and then they will do the coating of gold or silver on it, so that piece, that Kut, the small iron piece, will remain as is. Only the covering keeps changing. Sometimes they will coat it with gold, sometimes they will coat it, they will cover it with silver or whatever. But the Kut inside it will remain as it is. Similarly, what Krishna is trying to tell us, that we should stay in the we should stay as a Kut, which means happiness and pleasure will keep coming, but we attain the situation of Kut, and that situation is attained through Nishkam Karma Yoga, right? So we understood that there are three miseries if we expect from people, things, or from our own body. We understood the three problems. The person in Kut, situation in Kut, has actually is performing Nishkam Karma Yoga very nicely, and he's so well situated. Now this pain and pleasures are not disturbing him. And when this happens, he is also known as Vijitendriya, means he has win over his senses. Indriya means senses, and Vijitendra means he is the winner. He has win over all those senses. So he will realize the full Gyan Vigyan. He has realized the knowledge. He has realized the and he's in full realization also. Let's read the translation. A person is said to be established in self-realization and is called a yogi when he is fully satisfied by virtue of acquired knowledge and realization. Such a person is situated in transcendence and is well self-controlled. This is an important. He sees everything, whether it be a pebble, stone, or gold, as the same. So there is a nice story from Puranas. Probably I will narrate this, and you will appreciate this point very much. There was one husband and wife. They were very poor. They were hardly able to manage the food, their breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They were so poor, and they were devotee of the Lord. Every day without fail, and they will worship Lord Shri Krishna. So one day, Narad Muni was passing from their house, and he looks at their situation, and he felt some pity on the couple. So he went to Lord Krishna. He approached him, and he asked Lord Krishna that your devotees are so poor. Why don't you give them anything? They're very poor. Then Krishna says, Narad, not only to my devotees, but I am fulfilling the desires of every soul who is reaching out to me. Then what to talk about my devotees? I will definitely fulfill their desires. Then Narad Muni says, then why you are not fulfilling their desires? Then Krishna says, because they are not desiring at all. Then Narad Muni says, no, how is it possible? They are so poor. They must be desiring for some wealth. Krishna says, that is a problem. They are not desiring anything. Then Narad Muni said, no, I can't believe this. Then Krishna says, okay, let's both of us go and I will show you. Then what they do, both of them hide themselves behind a tree. And the husband and wife has to pass from that road where that on the corner there was this tree. They hide themselves behind. So husband was progressing little ahead of his wife. The wife was following him. So what Krishna did, by his mystic power, he created a piece of gold on the road. He just he did some magic. He created some piece of gold on the road, and the husband has to pass from that road. He was progressing little ahead of his wife. So when husband looked at that gold, obviously he did not notice that there is Krishna and Narad Muni behind a tree because they hide themselves. So he looked at the gold, and the gold was shining like anything. So the husband looked at the gold, and the husband started hiding it. From what? From trash. He started collecting some trash from here and there, and he quickly started hiding that gold. You know why he was hiding? He was hiding because he thought that my wife is coming. He will come in a minute. So when he will look at the gold, when she will look at the gold, my wife might desire to keep this gold. So let me hide it. But while he was trying to hide that gold from the trash, immediately in a minute, his wife came there, and his wife came to know that he is trying to hide some gold from this trash. So his wife says that, my dear husband, what are you doing? What are you doing this? You are trying to hide some trash from trash. You are trying to hide trash from this trash. You see the vision of this lady. The husband, even though he's a devotee, he's also a very advanced devotee. So he's trying to hide that gold. But his wife, even more advanced, he is not looking at the gold as gold. She's not looking at that gold as gold. She's looking at that gold as some trash only. She's saying, why are you hiding trash with some other trash? So that's what Krishna is telling. This is the elevated position. Whether it will be pebble, stone, or gold, they look at the same. The self-realized people, they don't think, oh, this is gold, this is silver, this is stone. For them, everything is same. Yes, Devesh, we will take up your question now.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I do have a question here.
Yes,
That
Bhai.
I do have interest in making investments. Matlab,
Yes,
this is
Bhai.
my passion, this is my hobby, whatever you can say.
That's very good.
So for that virtue, I also invest in equity.
Mm-hmm.
So will that be not be against it? Matlab,
No,
does it show that my mind is attracted towards money?
no, not at all. Even if it is attracted towards money, then you can purify it. Correct? See, all
See,
of us,
I do give to temple, I do give to other charity works.
that is
But
best.
my point is,
Uh-huh.
uh, I try to control my mind not to go about that. But I don't know, but this is
No,
become
you
a
don't need
part
to
of
control.
me. So
See, if you see now, if you see this Arjuna was also thinking that I try to control myself from fighting. Correct? But his
yes,
nature is to fight. How can you avoid? So if someone's nature is in money, then he doesn't need to leave that aside. If someone has this
okay.
nature of being greedy, which means they are polluted. For example, in case of Arjuna, he has this nature of fighting because he's a warrior. Someone else,
Yes.
we have warriors on other side also, Duryodhan and all. They also have the same nature. They're also warrior. But what is the difference between the two? Arjuna was trying to fight for religion, for Krishna. And these other people in the other side, they are also have this tendency, but they are using it against Krishna.
Okay. So actually,
Similarly,
thank you because this question was matlab disturbing me from last 5-6 years.
no, you don't need to
I
worry
was
at all.
I was totally thinking that how to control myself not to go about it. But after controlling a week, my mind goes again about it, behind it.
Yeah, that's the nature of the mind. But don't worry, this is a good nature actually. I would say if you are attached to mind, see, we become too greedy sometimes, too greedy to that extent that we start all these bad things like corruption and all. Definitely we don't do that, right? So if someone is not doing that and he is using all the good means to earn for Krishna, that is best. He should earn money, donate it in temple, build a nice home for devotees, and have kirtan there. What is the use of all the wealth that we have, all the opulence that we have? Our house, our own bodies should be utilized in the service of Krishna. For example, I'm talking. If I'll take the mic and stand on a stage saying that give me vote, make me the prime minister or minister or something, then what is the use? Am I doing anything for Krishna? Okay, no problem. I can become the politician also. But am I gonna use that position for Krishna? Then it would make sense. Otherwise, what is the point? Similarly, you can earn, there is no problem. You use your nature to earn for Krishna. That is not a problem at all. You earn as much money you can earn, but use it for Krishna. Build a nice temple, donate, have nice home for devotees, let devotees come for Kirtan, for Krishna Katha. That is the proper use of our all the resources that we have and the proper use of our nature also. All the interest can be
That I regularly do, Prabhuji.
amazing. Then you are on a right track. Don't worry.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so we discussed a lot about mind because this was an interesting thing. Yeah, so in the first 9 texts, I will talk about mind. It can be used as friend, it can be an enemy, and yeah, sometimes yoga is defined as some breathing exercise or some physical exercise, Himalayas and this. The yoga is not about that actually. Yoga is about the union with Krishna, our individual consciousness with Supreme Krishna consciousness. So that is about yoga, and then we discussed in detail about mind, how it works as a friend or enemy. Okay, now we'll talk about Ashtanga Yoga. So in the Ashtanga Yoga, we'll talk about some prerequisite that Krishna is explaining, and then we'll discuss how to practice this yoga. Then we'll see the difficulties in practicing it. Ashtanga Yoga is not very easy yoga to perform actually. And it doesn't mean that we go to a difficult yoga because we want to show ourselves better than others. Ultimate objective is to go back home, back to Godhead. And this is one way of achieving that objective. And if it is difficult, like Arjuna is also accepting later, we don't need to go for it. I would be very frankly saying this because Arjuna is also rejecting. But we'll definitely see why it is so difficult and what is it actually. So, 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. I just want to make sure if recording is still on. I feel recording is not happening. Oh, it's happening. Okay. So yeah, Ashtanga Yoga, this is the 10th shloka of this chapter. So let's see what Krishna talks about here. Yogi yunjita satatatmanam rahasi stita ekaki yachittatma nirashir parigraha. So Krishna is telling some prerequisite here about performing Ashtanga Yoga. What is that? Appara, as you see here, apparigraha. See, parigraha means acquiring something, and aparigraha means he doesn't have desire to acquire anything. Aparigraha. He doesn't have any desire to acquire anything. He is in a situation of aparigraha. Then Krishna says there is another prerequisite, nirashir. Nirashir means he has no expectation from anyone, from his own body or from anything also. He is desireless, you can say. He doesn't want to acquire also, like I want more and more and more, like I have $100, I want 200, 300, 500. No, it doesn't want anything like that. Nirashir, he doesn't have any specific desire also left. Yat chittatam, chit means mana. Yat means he can continuously progress on this path of controlling his mind. See, sometimes our mind will be in multiple directions and we'll start taking action on it. For example, I know that this person is not good for my spiritual material health. Some people, in life works like poison, and they keep spoiling us. So, for example, I try to control myself not to talk to him, but my mind says, no, you can talk to him like this and that. And if I take action on this, if I'm not strong enough to take action on this, it means I'm not yet in the state of yat chittatma. The person who can make some endeavor at least to control his chit. He says, no, I have to control my chit. He has some determination to do it. Then what he can do yunjita satatam, which means he can continuously try to perform this yoga. Then what he will do in this, that we'll see here. What he should do actually to perform it. So Krishna has detailed many shlokas about it, but I am taking the outline of it. So one is, go to a secluded place and should lay kusha grass on the ground and then cover it with a deer skin and soft cloth. Now, in today's world, it is very difficult to find a secluded place unless until we want to leave our family and go to Himalayas or probably Amazon forests. I don't know. Go to a secluded place and lay kusha grass on the ground and cover it with deer skin and a soft cloth. Then one should hold one's body, neck and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. And then what? One should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal. What is me here? Me means Krishna. So Krishna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, lives in Golok Vrindavan. And as a super soul, he lives in everyone's heart also. And as a Brahmajyoti, he lives in Nirakar form also, you can say. There are three forms actually. Krishna lives as a person in a spiritual world. Then Krishna lives as a super soul with every soul in the material world. And he lives in his Nirakar form also in the entire world and in the beginning of the spiritual world. So which form Krishna is asking here to meditate? Krishna is asking here to meditate on super soul within our heart. So Krishna as super soul, when he lives within our heart, he is asking Arjuna that perform Ashtanga Yoga, meditate upon me means meditate upon the super soul in my form on super soul as super soul and within the heart, and make me the ultimate goal of life, which means you should not have any other agenda in your list. Only then you can perform Ashtanga Yoga. And then he says, Practicing constant control of body, mind, and activities, the mystic transcendentalist, his mind regulated, attains to the kingdom of God. Now, you see, this is not a this is an authorized yoga. I'm not declining it. Even Dhruv Maharaj, Bhagavatam, we read it. Dhruv Maharaj was asked by Narad Muni to perform this yoga. He said, you chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namah, go to forest, do all this. And he achieved Krishna in just 6 months. Krishna came in front of him and he gave him darshan and everything. So he was performing this yoga. But it was easy at that time. Now it is very difficult. Where will you go? And especially in our situation, all of us are married, doing so many other activities. We can't leave everything. But so, and again, the mind, controlling the mind in this situation is also very difficult. Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport, he says, one who eats more than required will dream very much while sleeping. We don't know this, right? The person who eats more, he dreams more, which means he must constantly sleep more than is required, because he is dreaming more. He would like to sleep more also. So eating is directly proportional to sleeping. You see, that is why our Shastras talks about eating a lot. They say we should eat sattvic food, not tamasic or rajasic food. Why? Because you are a yogi. If you are a bhogi like animals, then you can eat whatever you want to. But if Shastras says that if you are Satgun, if you are yogi, then have Satoguni food. So anyway, so Prabhupada says if you will eat more, you will sleep more. And then one should not sleep more than 6 hours daily. One who sleeps more than 6 hours out of 24 hours is certainly influenced by mode of ignorance. A person in mode of ignorance is lazy and prone to sleep a great deal. Such a person cannot perform yoga. So the person who wants to eat more, he wants to sleep more, how will he perform yoga? For a yogi, he has to go to a secluded place and do all these things. If he's a great eater, even if he go to forest to perform this yoga, he will sleep only there also. So no meat eating, that's our principle in Krishna consciousness. No meat eating, only Krishna conscious food, which means whatever we want to eat, we offer that to Krishna, and then we have it. So food control is must, because what we take in, everything affects our mind. So it's not about having the food, it's about listening through our ears or seeing through our eyes. So whatever we see, hear, or taste or touch, everything goes as an input to our mind that affects our mind. And as we all understood that yoga system means controlling the mind, so we keep feeding. So if we keep feeding harmful things to our mind, obviously we'll not be able to perform yoga. Right, so that is another prerequisite for Ashtanga yoga. Now let's see if Arjuna is accepting this yoga. No, this is the shloka will come after this. So this is another shloka that Krishna is speaking. Yato nischalati manascha chanchal sthiram tatastuto nishyamyeva tadatmanyeva vasham nayet. You see, tado, yato, and here is tat. Yato means wherever, and wherever it happens, whenever, that time, and is a wherever or whenever, whatever. So Krishna is talking about man here. You see, man. Krishna is talking about man here. There are two qualities of man. Krishna is saying it is chanchal and it is nischalati. So chanchal means it is flickering nature. Like we see an example of monkey. We see one video, right? So when we saw that video, we realized that our mind is like a monkey. So like a monkey, it's like chanchal and nischal. It also keeps jumping here and there, never steady in one situation. So mind is like that. And to control that mind, what Krishna suggested? Ashtanga yoga. Now, if that is happening, what we should do? Krishna is saying, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. Which means if you are performing this meditation and your mind is going, let's say, to eat something, then control this desire and bring it back, and again look at the tip of the nose. Then again it goes anywhere else, again bring it, look at the tip of the nose, again bring it, look at that. So same posture that we just discussed, So Krishna is trying to say that when you will do it, your mind will go here and there. So try to bring it back. Vasham nayet means bring it back. So now see, now this, in second chapter also, 2.58, Krishna discussed about it actually. So just now bring it back is very difficult. So let's see what Arjuna says. Arjuna uvacha. Uvacha means said. So Arjuna uvacha. Yoyam yoga is yogastvaya prokta samyen madhusudana. Etasyayam na pashyami chanchaltva istitati stitharam. Arjuna is saying that this yoga system that you are asking to perform, this is very, very impractical. For the mind is restless and unsteady. Is very impractical. Now you see that Arjuna is saying this. If Arjuna is saying this, he was such a warrior, then what is our position to control the mind? He is saying, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna, Pirmathi balvadradham, Tasyaham nigraham manye vayori sudushkarma karam. So Arjuna is saying that this mind is saying, hey Krishna, this mind is strong. Drada, bal means strong. Drad means determined, very determined to do something. So it is strong, it's dradam, and chanchal, it's very flickering or unsteady. So chanchalam hi mana Krishna, this mind is very flickering, it's strong, and it's very determined also. So tasyaham nigraham manye means, in my opinion, tasyaham nigraham, to bring it back to the original situation, is more difficult than what? Vayorim sudushkarma means then controlling the mind. Vayu means Vayu means wind. Sorry, controlling the wind. So it's more difficult than controlling the wind. Sudushkarma. Su means more. Dushkarma means difficult. So it's more difficult than controlling the wind. So saying mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, very strong, O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the. Actually, Arjuna was such a great warrior, like we discussed previously also. He was such a great warrior, he will shoot an arrow and the direction of wind will change if he wants to. Now, such a great warrior was able to control the wind, is saying that controlling the mind is so difficult that this Ashtanga Yoga system will not work. He's saying this. Now, let's see if Krishna has some other option. So, first of all, Krishna is saying that for one whose mind is unbridled, self-realization is very difficult. But he whose mind is controlled and who strives for appropriate means is assured of success. Me mati. This is my opinion. So basically, Krishna is saying that there is no option. You will have to control your mind. Even if you don't accept the yoga, no problem. That will come later. But first you will have to control the mind. Because if mind is unbridled, self-realization is very difficult. And whose mind will be, to that extent, we want sense gratification. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter, what is that shloka? Krishna is saying that Bhog Aishwarya Prasaktanam Taya Pahachesam Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Samadho na Vidhiyate. Samadho na Vidhiyate. Samadho means he cannot perform samadhi. His samadhi will not be established. Why? Because Bhog Aishwarya Prasaktanam. He is so attached to Bhog. He is so attached to sense gratification that he cannot do samadhi. He cannot perform yoga. So think about it. If someone is running like a rat on the street, his mind is so crazy for enjoyment. So if rat is running on the street and you will ask the rat to stay silent, to be in one position for a minute, it is so difficult. Similarly, Krishna is explaining here. If the mind is unbridled, self-realization is very difficult work. But he whose mind is controlled and who strives by appropriate means is assured of success. That is my opinion. Now it is very difficult. We understood it, and actually Arjuna also understood this, right? First of all, Krishna has clearly said that there is no excuse. You have to control your mind, right? So now see what Arjuna is saying, because we all of us understood, right? All of us understood that controlling the mind is not difficult. If I start controlling it today, probably I will control it to some extent by our spiritual practice. But what if I am not able to? Or probably for some time I can do. What if I fail after that? So that's where I start our third topic, destination of unsuccessful yogi. So Arjuna says, in this shloka, Arjuna says, Arjuna vacha ayati shriddhayopeto yoga chalati manasa aprapya yoga sansiddhim kam gatim Krishna gacchati. He says, my dear Krishna, yoga chalati manasa, that you are saying, okay, the man is important. I understood it. And the one who is chalati, yoga chalati, who starts walking on this path of yoga with shraddha yopeto, with faith, with shraddha, with faith, who starts walking on yoga. Ayati means but falls down. Falls down means, let's say someone starts performing yoga for a couple of years, and after that he realizes, no, it's not working for me. It's actually too much. I can't do it at all. And then he goes back to his previous old bad association, doing all the nonsense and everything. Then he says, aprapya yoga samsiddhi. Samsiddhi means the perfection of yoga. Aprapya, he will not achieve. Right? So because when he started walking on this path of yoga, he wanted to achieve Krishna. But because he has fallen down now after a couple of years, he has not achieved the goal. So like we were discussing in the beginning, if I try to prepare to become a doctor, I try to prepare for a competitive exam to become a doctor or something, but I get failed in between, then I'm back to zero, right? Similarly, Arjuna is thinking that he will start preparing to achieve you as his ultimate goal, but if he falls down in between, he gets failed in between, yoga sunset, then is not able to prapya, is not able to achieve you. Kam gatim Krishna gacchati. Kam gatim. What is the gati for those people? What happens to them? Is what Arjuna is asking here. So Arjuna said, "Oh Krishna, what is the destination of an unsuccessful transcendentalist who, in the beginning, takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later desists due to worldly mindedness and thus does not attain perfection in mysticism?" Actually, once Srila Prabhupada was asked, one person asked Srila Prabhupada that, "Oh, you talk so much about Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We should do everything for Krishna, this and that. What if at the end of your life, you are on the deathbed and you come to know that there is no Krishna? Everything was fake. It was all illusion. There was no Krishna. Then what?" Then Prabhupada said, see, if that happens, then also there is no problem, because we are having nice prasadam that even people outside are not having. We are dancing in kirtan. We are hearing nice music. We are having association of good people. We have trust and everything because of this great association. So we are enjoying life also. So even at the end, for example, if we realize that there is no Krishna, there is no problem. But now you answer my question. Prabhupada says, now you answer my question. Let's say at the end of your life, you are at the deathbed. At the end of your life, you realize that there is Krishna. Then what? You see the point here? The time is gone. Now what would you do? So similarly, Arjuna is asking that what happens if a yogi fails in this practice? So he further asks Krishna, he says, "O mighty arm Krishna, does not such a person who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from both spiritual and material success?" Sometimes people say in Hindi, there's a saying, Ram Milena Maya, means no pleasure in this world, and did not achieve the material success also. So that's what Arjuna is asking. And he says, "and perish like a raven cloud with no position in any sphere." Means means he is not able to achieve the perfection of yoga. The perfection of yoga is to achieve you, my Lord Krishna, and because he followed a lot of don'ts of the spiritual life. Don'ts in the spiritual life, like no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. Arjuna is saying that he did not achieve material success. He did not achieve spiritual success or material success. Then he is of nowhere. And then Krishna says, no, that is not right. Krishna says, what happened to them? Prapya punya kritam lokanushitva shashvati sama shuchinam shrimatam gehe yoga bhrashto abhijayate. This is an amazing shloka. Krishna says, Prapya punya kritam. Prapya means he achieves. Who? Punya kritam means such a pious person. What he achieves? Lokanushitva shashvati sama. See, punya kirtam lokan means he goes to heavenly planets where pious people live. Such planets are called heavenly planets. So he's saying that such a person goes to heavenly planet, and then what? So we understood, right? This is Earth, and then so in the material world we have a lot of heavenly planets here. Then we have hellish planets here, and so there is a soul. We are living here on this Earth. There is a soul. Now, the person who is performing yoga here, even if he is unsuccessful, after little bit advancement, he goes back to his material life. Krishna says, what happens to them? He goes to heavenly planet. Why? Because he will enjoy more pleasure there. So you see, a person who is performing yoga, why he goes back to his material life? Because of his material desires. Material desires troubling him so much, now he is no longer able to perform yoga. So Krishna says, okay, you want to enjoy material desires? No problem. This earth does not have so much material pleasure as heavenly planets have. So he will do? He will send this person to heavenly planets to what? To enjoy. But what after that? He will say, Suchinam Shrimatam Gehe. The person will come back again and take birth in the family of pious people. Yog bhrashto abhijayate. Gehe abhijayate. He says he starts living with them even if he falls down from this position. So why Krishna is doing that? Krishna is doing that because he says you enjoy there on the heavenly planet. Now, because you have enjoyed so much, when you will take birth again, you would not like to enjoy there, and you can again come back to that path of yoga that you left in between. Which means even if you fall down, you are actually not falling down, because after few births, you are going to again start it from wherever you left it. There is no, see, it's like I appear for a competitive exam, and the cutoff for that exam is 40%. Whoever achieved 40% marks was able to go to the next stage, but I achieved only 35%. So what they are saying, no problem, you appear for the exam, and now even if you achieve 5%, we'll qualify you for the next stage. Does it happen? No, right? They will ask you to appear again and say, because you were not able to cross the cutoff, you appear again and again achieve 40%, then only you will be promoted to the next stage of that exam. But Krishna is saying, no problem. Even if you fall from 35%, for example, then whenever you will start in the next birth, that will start from 35% only. It's not like you will have to start from 0. So there is no loss actually. That's what Krishna is trying to explain here. Let's see the translation. The unsuccessful yogi, after many years of enjoyment on the planets of pious living entities, which means heavenly planets, is born into the family of righteous people or into the family of rich aristocracy. Then he says, Athva yogi nameva kule bhavti dhimtam etaddi durlabtaram loke janma yatishram. Then he says, or if unsuccessful after long practice of yoga, he takes birth in a family of transcendentalists, which means if he advanced further, it's not like after a few years, but after many years, let's say if he falls down again, no problem. He will take birth in the family of transcendentalist. Means, for example, some families, they are already devotees connected to Krishna. So children, they are taking birth in the family of devotees. They have actually practiced a lot in their previous birth. That's why. Otherwise, you see, some people take birth somewhere. I mean, some people take birth in the family of devotees. Some people will take birth in the family of rich people. But especially for those who have fallen from yoga, they will take birth in the family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly, such birth is rare in this world. Which means even to get to that perfection stage and then falling down is also very, very rare. You see, in Bhagavatam, there is a pastime of Jada Bharat Maharaj. So, Bharat was named on the name of a king named Bharat. Oh, sorry, I'm writing in Hindi. So, Bharat was the name of a king, and on his name, the country was named as Bharata. So, the Bharat king, he decided to go to forest and do his meditation and bhakti there. So he went to forest, but he fell down from his position. So what happened in the next birth? He take birth in the family of a Brahman. He was a very great devotee of the Lord. He took birth here, and he was named as a Jada Bharata. Jada Bharata. So that is one example we hear in Srimad Bhagavatam. So as a Jada Bharata, he was very serious to again practice Krishna consciousness. So Krishna is saying there is no loss at all. Now, let's see. Krishna is saying, Krishna is saying, and when the yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making further progress, being washed away all contaminations, then ultimately achieving perfection after many, many births of practice, he attains the Supreme Lord. So the same point, right? So wherever he left his yoga, for example, he did not become perfect. He just achieved 35%. Now he again back to his old habits. Krishna is saying, no problem at all. He will keep enjoying in heavenly planets, or he will take birth in rich aristocratic family. And whenever he will start yoga, he will start from 35%, which means he will never go to hell. He will keep enjoying. And again, whenever he will start yoga, he will start from the point he left from. It is such a big success. So that is the destination of yogi that has been explained in this. So that's why Krishna is saying a yogi is greater than anyone else. Empiricist, fruitive worker. You see, here is a adhiko word used here. Adhiko. Here is adhiko. 3 times adhiko has been used. So he's saying tapasvi adhiko, jnani abhito, karmi adhiko. Who? The yogi. So Krishna is saying the yogi is better than tapasvi, better than jnani, better than karmi. Means he is better than any ascetic, empiricist, or any fruitive worker. A yogi is much, much better than any of them. So he's saying, oh Arjuna, in all circumstances, be a yogi. Don't think that yogi is losing anything. Krishna is saying, in any case, the yogi is not losing anything. Why to become an empiricist? An empiricist means who just take guesses. Because of my experience this, because of my experience that. No. What is the point of doing that? Krishna is saying, take this knowledge, perform yoga, try to control your senses through bhakti yoga practices, and achieve the perfection of life. Be a yogi. Now we'll take this shloka from Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is telling that who is a perfect yogi. Krishna says, yoginam api sarvesham madgate nantaratmana shriddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mata. This is a very important line here. Shriddhavan bhajate yomam. Mam means Krishna. Krishna is saying those who worship me. Shriddhavan, with faith. Bhajate means do worship. So Krishna is saying those who worship me, same yukto tamha mata. Mata means my opinion. Krishna is saying they are best. They are situated in best, which means who will worship Krishna. You see that the what we have discussed now, this Gyan Yoga. So you see, this Gyan Yoga is path of knowledge. Karma Yoga is path of action. Ashtanga Yoga is path of focus. And what is Bhakti? Bhakti is path of love. So who will Krishna is saying Shraddhavan bhajate yomam. Who will worship Krishna? Only a bhakt can worship Krishna. Why? Because he has a love for Krishna. Here is a gyan, here is a knowledge, here is action. This is a path of focus. But who can actually worship Krishna? A bhakt can worship Krishna. And Krishna is saying that person, Krishna is saying that is my opinion. That person is most intimately united with me. Krishna is saying mataha, that is my opinion. Yogi namapi. Yogi namapi, in all the yogas, sarvesham madgadidantratmana. Krishna is saying with his full mind and heart, who is worshipping me, yukta tamo mata. In my opinion, he is the best yogi because he is most united, intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. So in the yoga ladder that we discussed today, we revised today, Sakam Karma, Nishkam Karma, Jnana Ashtanga and Bhakti Yoga, Krishna at the end is again saying that the Bhakti Yoga is the topmost yoga system. So that's the topmost yogi. So all yogas are the progression towards the destination of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is the topmost yoga system. Why? Because there is no loss, maximum results, minimum effort because in Ashtanga Yoga and all, you will have to go to forest, secluded place, you'll have to focus on your nose and so many other things. Bhakti Yoga is easy. You can perform it together. Everyone gets the benefit. For example, Ashtanga Yoga, you will get only you will get benefit if you perform. But in Bhakti Yoga, you can give the benefit to others also. For example, we discussed the example of feeding the food to poor people. You are preparing the food and you are feeding it by offering it to Krishna. So not only you are getting the benefit, you are giving the benefit to others also. So very minimum effort involved, and there is a benefit where everyone can enjoy. For example, you are taking this class. So while I am speaking, I am getting the benefit, and you are hearing, you are also getting the benefit. If I will do any other yoga, for example, Ashtanga Yoga, only I will get the benefit. So this is such an amazing yoga, Bhakti Yoga is. And there is no qualification required. Even Shabri was able to perform. He was not very learned person. Shabri achieved the perfection. Ram met her. So no qualification required. And completely sin-free. And then Krishna takes in charge. Krishna says, no, I will take in charge of controlling your mind and everything. Don't worry at all. And Krishna is also certifying that this is the best yoga by saying, Yogi namapi sarvesham madgatentra atmana shriddhavan bhajate yo mam same yukto tama mata. So this completes our 6th chapter today. Today we completed 1/3 of this book, 1/3 of Bhagavad Gita today. So I'm very grateful to all of you, very sincerely attending, giving me this opportunity to speak. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you all. Is there a question or comment? You can unmute yourself and please go ahead.
Can we just talk about the our in-person meeting again? A lot of people were not there in the morning.
Oh, is it? Okay, sure. So I was explaining in the beginning that we are planning to have a get-together on 17th of June. So the plan is that we will have a kirtan for half an hour, probably 20-30 minutes. And then we will have some senior leader from our community. He will speak on Krishna. He will do some Krishna Katha, probably some pastimes from Krishna, Vrindavan. And then we'll have lunch together. So it's like full plan is of like 2 hours or so. We might start at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. We'll share those details. So Neha Mataji will share all the details in our new group. And then I would request all of you not to come alone. Please bring your family, your friends, everyone you want to. Just let us know when Mataji will share, Neha Mataji will share the details. You just let her know how many people you want to bring with you. But I would really request you to bring your family, everyone you want to bring, as many people. Just let us know, so we'll make accordingly all the arrangements for your lunch and everything.
I will bring Krishna with me.
That's amazing. Thank you, Anand Bro. You always carry Krishna. That's good to see you are reading Bhagavad Gita also. So I met Anand Bro last week. Few days back. So,
Thank you. That was an honor to me.
no, thank you very much. Yes, Neha Mataji, thank you for reminding me. I know that time few people were there. Okay. No question from anyone. Okay. So we'll stop now. Thank you all for joining. Have a nice day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Babuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.